Hey, what is up guys? Bongonzo here. So today in this video, I want to show you a collab that me and a couple of my subscribers did on a whole bunch of separate beats. Basically, the idea of this competition was I was going to send out a sample to all these people, and then they were going to make a beat on that sample. They're going to make a video about it, send it back to me so that we can have one giant collaboration video where we have a whole bunch of different beats shown off, made by different producers. In the background right now, I'm playing the sample I made, and you might be wondering, yes, this is an exact copy of Andrew Juan's video. If you want to be notified if I do one of these collabs again, you've got to hit the subscribe button. I make all my announcements on my YouTube tab, and if you're not subscribed, you probably won't see those. In front of me right now is the beat I actually made for this collaboration, and I'm really proud of this beat. I used my synthesizer on the beat. I'll be showing you that synth later. But first, I'm going to show you all the other beats, and then I'll be at the very end of this video. So stay tuned for that. Let's get into it. Woo!
Hey, what's up on this? Yeah, as soon as Bongonzo sent me the sample, I thought to myself, how am I gonna do this? Most people, know lo-fi as being, typically a sample of jazz, hip-hop and all that. But for me, I don't normally sample stuff. So I kind of said, I'm like, well, shoot, what am I gonna do? I didn't like having the high-end notes you see right here in the sample. So what I ended up doing, I ended up just cutting out the high-end frequencies entirely and just kind of focusing more on the low-end frequencies. For this track, I ended up using the classic 80 bassline built in the FL Studio, which is honestly really, really good. I didn't feel like the bassline needed to be too overly complicated, so I just kept it as such. I kind of had the bassline follow more so the sample, so with the sample and the bassline together, sounds like this. I ended up using Spitfire Labs to make just a simple pad to kind of fill in a bit more space, which sounds like this. Now the big thing when it comes to lo-fi drums is quantization. Quantization is such a huge part of making lo-fi drums just work. If we take the kick for instance, like only the kicks at the start of the bar are quantized. Everything else for the most part is unquantized, because you want the track to have a live feel. If we go to the snare, I know what I just said about quantization, but typically I will leave my snares quantized on the 2 and the 4 of each bar. Now honestly, what I think probably the most important part of the drums in lo-fi is the hi-hat. The hi-hats, if done incorrectly, can really offset the vibe of the track. Now while the hi-hat pattern is very simple, I made sure to offset every other hi-hat to make sure that the track doesn't get boring. Your drums really do carry your tracks, and if they get repetitive, it just feels like the track carries on forever and it doesn't change. Now we put all that together so far, we get this. Could just be me, but I think it's fine. As I do it typically with my melodies, and my counter melodies too for that matter. Keep things very simple. Lo-fi doesn't need to be overly complicated melodies. The biggest thing I think when it comes to making lo-fi is sidechaining. Sidechaining is such an important part of getting lo-fi to sound as it does, because without Fruity Limiter on here, track sounds like this. While it doesn't sound terrible, it doesn't really give off the same general impact that it would otherwise. Here's the difference. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. You guys a little insight into my creative process of how I flip this sample. So yeah, thanks Bongonzo for giving me this chance to make this, and yeah, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Alright, let's just get straight into it. So real quick, got the sample, same BPM, didn't mess with it, so I got an ARP from Synthmaster, so it's like this. Same thing, took out a little bit of lows, a little bit of highs. Next thing I got going on is a pad. It's an influx pad from Tyrell. I don't know what chord that is, but it's just 8th notes repeating, and it sounds like this. Next thing I added was a key, this little, it's like ear candy I guess, then it just goes like this. So it's just like a pluck, but it sounds pretty good when it's in the background. Next up we got the hi-hats, nothing too special. Sorry, it's pretty special. Wait, what? I added some rolls, took out, pitched it, some more rolls, and this is what it sounds like. else we got? We got a open hi-hat. And it's the little things, you know, that really make your beat complete. And I have this little perk, just a rim shot and classic rim pattern. Alright, let's go over the 808. I never really did anything with the 808 like this, but I've been listening to some songs and they got 808 patterns like these, and I'll mess with them. I mean, they sound pretty good. So basically, it's just one note the whole time. Decided to play it safe, use one note, and it turned out like crazy fire. So, and the last thing we have is the lead. And that's everything. So with everything together so far, this is what it sounds like. And that's the whole beat. That's how I did it. Good, hopefully you guys liked it. So thank you for the sample.
Hi, I'm Luca. I'm editing my own segment just because I wanted to give Bongonzo some free time. I don't know. This video is already going to be a pain to edit for him. Also, if you couldn't tell that it wasn't him editing, I don't think he has this amount of anime pictures. I added some effects, an EQ, OTT, and this chorus, and now it sounds like this. Then I wanted to expand on this melody, so I added this pluck on Vital, or you know, close to what it should sound like. Use burning to the ground. Then I added a synth actually, but I used a guitar amp. Yeah, those are all the melodic elements. For the drums, I think I started with the clap. I'm pretty sure I started with the clap. As you can see, it's not like just a 3. I did some things to it. Then I went on to do the hi-hat. Sounds like this. I usually do just 2-step and then I chopped it up. I don't know, I think it's easier. Then I did the 808, added a beat crusher and camel crusher to it. I think it sounds cooler. Then probably the weirdest sound in this whole song, just my tongue clicking. Yeah, it's just me going. But I had a lot of effects, like I added this distortion I found, I had a baby come back with a weird time. Before I play the beat, I actually did some vocals to it. Yeah, for my vocals I did a bunch of weird stuff. Like for example, okay, my CPU is dying. As you can see, I used a lot of auto-tune. For example. Yeah, my CPU is dying, but you can see that it doesn't sound like me. I hope, but it is me. Believe me, it is me. Which is just me. More semitones. This is the overall vocal chain I use. An EQ, then a compressor, and then the same EQ, but this one is actually working as a de-esser. I'm back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I talked about my album. I'm making an album. I don't know when it's going to release, but you should follow me on my Twitter at Ricardo Doruca. It's on the screen right now. I'm probably going to update people there. And, oh yeah, stream Cute. Cute is on all streaming platforms. One is actually coming out on all streaming platforms. I think it already is out. But yeah, there.
So basically on this beat, I want to make sure I did something creative. I didn't just want to make a classic trap beat, you know, play a sample and put some drums on it. So what I first did was I added a halftime to my melody. After doing some chopping on my melody, it sounds like this now. So now I'm going to show you my synthesizer. So this synthesizer I literally found in a random closet in our house that mom probably bought it in like 2005 or something like that. Anyway, so it's not the kind of synthesizer you're thinking of where you have a whole bunch of sliders and dials and you're making your sound from scratch. It's literally just a whole bunch of samples and stuff like that that you use to make your music. So like here's what a couple sounds sound like. As you can see, I have this little toucher thing here. And then I also play this xylophone. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna move to my drums to keep things moving. Here's my entire drum pattern on its own. And by the way, all those sounds are going to be featured in my drum kit that I'm giving away to you guys soon. This 808, first of all, is literally staying on almost the same note the entire time. If you listen with the original sample, I also have this hi-hat pattern. The hi-hat pattern is relatively simple. I'm doing only a few rolls every once in a while, and I have a pancake panning plugin on it. Then I added some extra percussion stuff down here. And I mean, there's nothing I can really say to that. Those are just simple patterns. On my melody instruments themselves, I actually added a couple effects. This free fuzz isn't necessarily adding tons of distortion. Here's before and after. Before. In fact, you can definitely hear it's cutting out some of the low end. Maybe that's why I thought it was a good idea to use it. Also in the verse, I added the original melody back in, so it sounds like this. And layered with the halftime melody, it sounds like this. So yeah, this beat is really, really open. I hear a couple mixing problems that I could do with this one, but that's basically the end of the beat. If you want to be notified if I do one of these things again, you've got to hit the subscribe button. I do all these announcements on my YouTube community tab, and if you're not subscribed, you probably won't see them. Anyway, thank you guys for checking me out. Make sure you check out all those links in the description. See you guys later. Woo!